So we start this morning at the U.S. Capitol in D.C. It is Wednesday. We will get to so much this morning about the federal government being shut down as of 6 hours now. This just came into effect at midnight, so we know that you're waking up to this news after efforts to pass a short-term spending bill failed in the Senate. We're going to explain the impacts that you might be waking up into this morning, or just the trickle-down effects that you'll see later this week, likely.
Yeah, especially if you're a federal worker.
Absolutely.
And a heartbreaking end to the season for our Indiana Fever. Their bid to make the WNBA Finals for the first time in a decade falls short. Thanks for waking up with us here on 13 Sunrise on your Wednesday. I hope you had a great day yesterday and your morning's off to a great start. We know weather is not the problem, so we'll get a look at that in a moment, but we'll have more on the disappointing loss for the Fever. The ladies had such a great season, really.
It was encouraging to hear Dominic Miranda's report and kind of see how they're, talking to the media after the game about how proud they are of the season. We're proud as well. We're also going to be talking more about the federal government shutdown and what that means for you as you wake up this morning, too. But like you said, weather's not an issue, so I'm glad to be talking about sunny skies a little bit later today, Lindsay.
The biggest question is, well, when's something actually going to be going on weather-wise? And we're looking ahead at early next week because it does look like we're going to have some changes roll in next Monday into Tuesday. So in the meantime, we're going to continue on with this cool overnight, warm afternoon pattern as temperatures have fallen off another couple of degrees. Right now we're down to 59 here in the Indy Metro, 52 in Richmond. We're down to 58 in Shelbyville and 56 in Bloomington. So a little above average for this time of year, but very typical compared to what we've been dealing with really lately. We're going to walk you through the next several hours here. We're going to take you into this afternoon as we achieve our daytime highs today in the mid 80s. Notice that we'll see this wind coming in. Pretty light breeze all the way through the afternoon hours. Then we go through the overnight tonight. I do anticipate the potential of some outlying locations, especially across the northeastern tier of the state, to see some upper 40s on the map as we get you into early Thursday morning. And then Thursday afternoon, once again, that heat's going to build back in, and we're looking at daytime highs that will rebound into the mid 80s. So there you go. No major changes here. We're going to be in the mid 80s, looks like, through the weekend. But more on when we'll see some rain as well as cooler weather coming up in your full forecast. Now we're at 6:02 this morning. We'll take you back up to the northeast side. We'll show you some of these cameras here as we are seeing a little bit more in the way of brake lights coming down that 69 southbound corridor right now. This is approaching those 465 ramps. This is that lane that branches off there to Benford Boulevard. It's not a major situation right now from a slowdown standpoint, but if we look at this in the opposite direction, this is looking northbound up that 69 corridor. Things running a little slower as expected as we are now headed into that peak morning rush. No major issues, but we'll keep you posted as these delays will likely continue to build.
And now breaking overnight, the federal government is shut down for the first time since 2018.
Democrats and Republicans couldn't meet a deadline at midnight to reach that short-term deal to keep the government fully funded and running. This 55 to 45 vote in the Senate fell short of the 60 that was needed to beat that midnight deadline. Earlier yesterday, the Senate also rejected a Democratic alternative bill.
That also included an extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies and money to offset Medicaid cuts under President Trump's Big Beautiful Bill.
Senate Democrats have sacrificed the American people to Democrats' partisan interests.
So we see now Republicans are plunging America into a shutdown, rejecting bipartisan talks, pushing a partisan bill, and risking America's health care, worst of all.
It is still unclear how long the shutdown, of course, will last, but we do know the Senate is expected to be in session today to vote again on motions related to the same funding measures. And with this shutdown, a big question: how and when will it impact you?
Especially if you are a federal worker here in Indiana, we may not see the effects this morning at 6 a.m. But Anna Chalker joins us live with what changes could happen and the reaction from one political science professor. Good morning, Anna.
Good morning to you two, ladies. So this is all going to trickle within the next few days. So no need to panic right now. No immediate changes right now at 6 o'clock. But there will be a lot, to say the least. This is coming from federal employees, but also changes within federal departments. And one of the places here in Indy that will see this, the federal building here behind me, which is home to several departments. But I want to start with federal employees this morning. Right now, there are about 25,000 Hoosiers that are on the federal payroll. Many are in the Defense Department, Veterans Affairs, Social Security, and some other places. And if some of those employees are non-essential, like administration or support staff, they'll just be sent home without pay. The others who are essential, they will have to work without a paycheck until the government opens back up again. An example of this would be TSA employees. So if you're going to the airport, you could see some lines and wait times increase at our airport if people decide to not work like that. So University of Indianapolis professor Laura Wilson says when federal employees start to lose their pay and their jobs, this will impact every American.
The failure to compromise is a failure to enact legislation, a failure to fund our government and the responsibilities and functions it has to serve all people. That's the real loser here.
We are checking in with our federal offices here in Indy to see when those changes could happen. And there are a lot of what ifs right now, a lot of unanswered questions of when things will be going into play here within this government shutdown. But we also said a lot of things that are going to be going on are within those departments, especially when it comes to benefits you may get from the federal level. So coming up, we'll touch on those and what we could see in those cuts, but also why Laura Wilson is saying, you really need to pay attention now if you really haven't paid attention to things when it comes to a government shutdown to see how this could impact you, your family, and basically anyone around you.
All right,
Thank you, Anna.
And so far, we have not seen a reaction from President Trump since the shutdown started, as we mentioned 6 hours ago.
Yeah, I've been looking to social media to see that he's put out a statement. But last night, just hours before the shutdown, he said that he had no choice but to consider mass layoffs because of what he described as Democrats' demands.